Howdy, Possum Patty here, and well, I just sat down to do some journaling, so why don't you come on along and I'll show you. And little Miss TT's here too, and I'll show you what I've done. Well, I've been very busy helping the family prepare for Mom's celebration of life, and I was given the task of putting together some slideshows. And oh my goodness, it just took me a bazillion hours. Not so much making the slideshow, but trying to get pictures from this one and that one. And one is texting me pictures, and that one's emailing me pictures. This one's scanning them and uploading them to Dropbox, and all this stuff going on. Then we got family coming from out of state and menu, it's just all that stuff. And I was like, okay, take a deep breath. Come in, sit down. Absolutely no plans at all. The first thing I looked at was this, and this reminds me of my willow branches and the way they look right now. And I thought, oh, you know what, I want to do a page with the willow flower fairy and just a picture of my willow tree because it was the rainiest summer like ever. And well, the willows love the water, so the willow trees did fine this year, believe me. But I was searching for a piece big enough to use as a background on this page right here. And this what's on the desk. I have a big mess over there. And I said, oh, look, I messed it all up. It wasn't a neat pile. The Tulla and Norbert papers are on the desk. Oh, here she is. The Tulla and Norbert papers were on the desk. I had pulled them out from the shelf, from the summer things. I got this from Peachy Cheap. And I thought this would be a really fun summer spread here. These beautiful flowers, or even spring, summer, spring. And I love the gnomes that are in here, and the flowers, and the colors, this color combination. And so I just picked this up, and I started looking at these papers. This is my fave here. And like I said, they were just sitting on the table. And I opened my flower-shaped, I opened my flower-shaped journal, and this is the page I worked on last, and I love it, love it. It's all about the mushrooms and mushroom pictures that the fam have been sending me. And I did a little bit of journaling on there about the pictures. I explained that in my last video. And I was like, oh, I could take this Norbert and Tulla page that has the little gnome sitting on the mushroom and cover this side and journal about, where are they now? Journal about my little mushrooms that I'm making. I decorated my Dollar Tree box here with a butterfly, but it is full of little mushrooms. And I had people pop in a number, and I will be sending some of these out. Oh, I love this one. I will be sending some of these out pretty soon. But like I said, it's going to be crazy until the end of next week. So don't worry. I will pick numbers and send these out. I just might not get to it until all the family stuff is over. But I have been making some more. And I thought I would journal about these little mushrooms, or maybe add one to the journal. And I've been carrying my little kit around, my little mushroom making kit. And I've got, oh, that one's got to get finished, and this one's got to get finished. This is a funny little purple one. That's okay. Mushrooms can be any shape. It's a little bit wonky. And what I did with this one, and I used a little bit of this white sparkly felt as the backing. I thought I would try that. It works pretty good. This one's going to be very thin, but this one's going to be a little puffier. So I think I had another one in here. Well, anyway, you get, oh, you get the picture. Oh, it's another purple one. This is some fabric I got from Temu. Isn't it pretty? These two purple ones. So I got to finish these 3 mushrooms up. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. I could put a little piece of felt just in the center of this one and make the center of this a little bit puffy, since this one's very flat. I could do that. Oh, okay. Okay. Here's the felt. I haven't cleaned off the table. I had good intentions, but I never got to it. Cat hairs. But this is my sparkly white felt. So I'm going to put this in here. Now I have some more ideas. See, the more you do, the more ideas you get. I'm telling you. All right. Put that over there with my mushroom things. Oh, I have to pick one out of the box to put on this page, but I'll do that after, when I do my journaling card. All right. Where was I? Oh, okay. Back to the journal. Move some things. So, you get 2 sheets of each pattern for this Tulla and Norbert. So I took one of these and I cut the shape of the page. And I am just going to glue that down. So while that is drying, then I can show you, I need a bigger paper, what I was doing over at the sewing machine. And in this journal, I have just been using a glue stick in the middle with a little tacky glue around the edge, or especially over here, the edge tends to pop up a little bit. If I'm going back to the journal and I see an edge popped up, I just stick a little more tacky glue in there. But usually this holds it down pretty good. Okay, so we have Tulla and Norbert on the page, which I got glue on somehow. So this is what I've been sewing. And as you can see, it's a big mishmash. Well, I decided that the pocket I put on here should be a mushroom shape. I gotta cut these threads here. And I picked this paper, which is part of this pack. And then I was like, I cut out a mushroom. And then this part that came in like that, I was thinking I really wanted it to extend a little bit, so that I can put a little bit bigger of a journal card coming in here like this. So I added this same paper that's on the background, and I'm going to line it up right there, sort of, kind of, so that it matches the background. Oops. And when I glued it, I might not have gotten it exactly right. But, yeah, I did. I got it crooked when I glued it down. All right. Okay. It's going to be Possum perfect, that's for sure. So I took the original mushroom shape and a little square of this background paper. And I added this paper, which is the back of this paper. And then I looked at the sheet of cut aparts and I was like, oh, I love this one. So I cut him out and I backed him with some of this flower paper that I want to use for the journaling card. So the cut apart is on the flower, and then we have the polka dot, and then we have the plaid, and I added a little polka dot down there. So that was quite the production over at the sewing machine. And I tried different stitches. This is like a pointed zigzag, and this is like a roundy zigzag. And this one around the edge is supposed to be a zigzag, but very narrow, like a lightning stitch. And I don't think it quite looks like the picture. I don't know. It's got like that little bead. So it goes forward then back a little bit, forward and back. Maybe if I made the stitch a little wider and did a little zigzag over there. So I'm going to just go ahead and put some glue on this and see how close I can get it to Possum Perfect here on the page. And then I will come back and work on a journaling card and put a mushroom in there. Alrighty, I've got this glued down and I let it dry. And now I have to figure out what size, well that's really tight, figure out what size journaling card. Yeah, see it goes all the way in there. Sometimes if you take a ruler, just stretch that paper out a little bit. Careful, you don't want to rip it. Not TT sneezing. She's got her allergies today. So I'm looking at this. I'm kind of looking at the spread and I'm like, I was thinking of making a border on this side. And then I was like, well, you know, I get this big space over here. Maybe I want to put something on this side. I like this vintage washi here. Kind of goes with the cover of this, the browns. So I might do this. I'm going to put a little extra, whoops, glue stick maybe I'll just put on here. Glue stick on there. And pop this down. And then I got to wondering, a journal page never has to be done. If you're looking at it and you're like, oh, do I want to do something else to that? It is perfectly fine. We're just journaling here. Oh, and I had these are on my desk too. This is a challenge, let me tell you. Having a page with all these little roundy bits sticking up is a challenge. I'm not, you know, used to like a square or a rectangle, and you've got laces and tabs and all kinds of things going on everywhere. And then with this journal, like, oh, I got this big bump up there. What am I going to put up there? Yeah, so it's a little bit of a challenge. So you can't put something straight like on the edge because that's just not going to work. I really do love this mushroom right there. But would that look okay up there? I don't know. We'll think about that because we're not really working on that page. Working on this page. Oh, cat's on my seat. Don't sit on the kitty. Okay, so back to Tulla and Norbert. Let's see. There is... Oh, this is the cover. And the cover pieces are, oh my gosh, look at that, are almost exactly the size that I need. I like that one. Let's see. Ooh. Yes, I like that one. Let's see. I have my The Witch's Inn hanging on my doorknob. So now when TT wants to go out, you hear a little tap tap on the wooden piece. That's her little signal now she wants to go out. Now my phone died, so I couldn't show you that, but it's charging in the other room. So if I cut this, oh, this is really cute too. See, only junk journalers can get as excited about the cover as the actual product inside. Do a little bit better job of trimming that up. Got a little bit of a waxy feel to it, not bad. I'm thinking of putting that right there. Sort of break that up. And then maybe I can put something there. Oh, I have to work on the journaling card. That's what I was doing. The journaling card. So somebody was asking me about the name of my channel here, Just Journaling with the Possum Patty. And I've already explained the Possum Patty part. If you go to my home, my page, my Just Journaling Possum Patty page, the intro video there that pops up, that explains where the Possum Patty came from. And my channel used to be Possum Patty from Pencil, P-E-N-C-I-L, Pennsylvania. And the Pennsylvania actually came from Danny Gregory. Now, I know I've talked about Danny Gregory in sketchbook school before. And I was really got into doing sketchbooks for a while. I mean, I still love to sketch. And I took several of the sketchbook school online classes. But then I found out one day, and I believe I've told this story, but it might have been a while ago, that Danny, who lives in New York, or was living in New York at the time, was going to do a lecture for the students at a college nearby where I lived. Well, after taking all his classes online, I said, well, this would be a great opportunity to go see him in person. So, of course, I grabbed a sketchbook and went over to the college. And the funny thing was, there was a bit of a commotion because I guess they scheduled the wrong room, and so they had everybody like wait in the hallway while they rescheduled a different room. And while all this was going on, Danny was there. Of course, I recognized him right away because I knew who he was. And so I went over and I introduced myself. You know, I've taken your courses, and here's my sketchbook. And he was so nice. He was so down to earth. He was so nice. He took my sketchbook and he looked at, he slowly turned the pages and looked at all the pictures in the sketchbook. And we talked about sketchbook school and, you know, sketching in a journal and all this other stuff. So I told him my name was Patty. And back then I had a blog called Plays with Pencils, I believe it was called. I think it's still there, Plays with Pencils. And he looked at me and he laughed and he said, oh, Patty from, because I lived in Pennsylvania. So Patty from Pennsylvania. So that's where, this is all like a big story that evolved from Plays with Pencils blog to becoming Possum Patty as an environmental educator to having Danny call me Patty from Pennsylvania, then moving out of Pennsylvania to Connecticut. And because I still left the Pennsylvania in there, people were a little bit confused. I thought I was still living in Pennsylvania. So then I changed it to Just Journaling. I'm just journaling with Possum Patty. So this is the sketchbook that I took with me when I went to see him. And here's where he signed it. It says, thanks for coming to Kutztown, Patty. Because that's where he was lecturing at Kutztown University, Kutztown, Pennsylvania. So this is the journal that I took with me. This one does have a bit of writing in it. Oh, because this, I was using this to take notes in some of the sketchbook school classes. This is funny. Yeah, so I was taking that course and I was making notes about what I was doing and storytelling and a lot of stuff in here, taking it with me. Journaling about health. I want to talk about that again too. Journaling about your health. Like this is a lesson from sketchbook school. Drawing characters. This is when I was developing some of my Possum Patty characters here. Yeah, so the name evolved from my blog, Plays with Pencils, to getting the name Patty from Pennsylvania, then Possum Patty from Pennsylvania, and then actually just journaling, Possum Patty, just journaling with Possum Patty. So what is just journaling? Just journaling is, I know I do some other things. I do a little slow stitching. Everything usually winds up in a journal. If I'm sketching, doing art, coloring, slow stitching, machine stitching, crocheting, gel plate printing, mono printing. It doesn't matter. Whatever I do, it usually winds up in a journal. So when I say just journaling, what I'm talking about is, you know, the actual process of journaling. And, you know, I make journals, I alter books or composition notebooks. See, now it's getting hung up on this piece that I put inside a little bit. So maybe that wasn't a good idea after all. It's all about the paper engineering, isn't it? Well, I can't fix that now because it is all glued down. So, yeah, I can feel it there. Wait, I was going to make a journaling card, but I wanted to put one of the mushrooms here, and I didn't think about that, did I? I could just glue one to here. So I think that looks pretty good there. I could just glue that down, or I could put it like right at the edge, or I could make it a tab. I could make it a tab. No, I don't like that. It looks like an arrow pointing out. I want it that way. I could put it right at the end and then maybe put a picture of a few of the mushrooms on here and journal, put a picture and do a little journaling on the back. Didn't, you know, just that I'm slow stitch when I made them, something like that. And I don't have to make it go all the way down in there. Let's see, where does it stop? It kind of stops right about there. So my little idea didn't really work out. Unless you finagle it. Alrighty, I've got my picture. And how big do I want this? Probably not very big, because my idea of having a long card didn't work out, and that is okay, because we are just journaling here, folks. So just journaling is my thing. I like to actually do the journaling part, and I gotten into making journals that I would find to be like a challenge to journal in. And I was having fun making journaling covers and which kind of journal did I like the best. but journaling is definitely what I like to do. So it's not about making the prettiest journal or the grungiest journal or the most elaborate shabby chic or boho journal or what other styles are there. And you know, it's about, okay, I had fun making that cover. I did wood burning, but it was wood burning for a purpose, right, for a journal. So I'm adding all these crafts into what I'm doing. But it is about the journaling. So I try all different techniques on pages. And I like to add art to the pages and sewing to the pages and crocheting to the pages because it's just about the journaling. And I really don't, you know, worry about whether it is the most beautiful journal in the world or not. Each page does not have to be a masterpiece. I don't worry about that. I have some very, you know, flat, sort of plain pages. There's just a pocket on that page, but there was something I wanted to journal about. Sometimes the page gets to be very elaborate. And, you know, this is just some journaling here. And I got a little bit more elaborate with that one. But some of the pages are just pretty simple, keeping with the style of what the journal is. You know, some I've added a lot of things to. But each page is not about the journal. Each page is about the journaling. I just made that up. Did that make sense? So each page is about the journaling. It's not about the journal. So if I make a boho cover for the journal, that doesn't mean every single page in the journal is going to be in a boho style or a shabby chic style or a steampunk style. It just means that I had fun doing that on the cover. Oh, I was going to look and see, now that I peeled this, if I wanted to put a different background on this. Oh, yes. Look at that. Cat hair everywhere, of course. Now that is festive, isn't it? Yes, I love it. So I can have a plain page. I can really work hard, do something fancy. Or like I said, I could just have a, where is it? You know, Happy Wednesday. That's all that's on that page. That's it. Because it's not about the journal, it's about the journaling. It's about the journaling. And it could be nature journaling, memory keeping journaling, daily journaling, art journaling, meta journaling. Meta journaling is journaling about journaling. Oh, Possum Patty, now you're just getting crazy. Isn't that festive, though? Look at that. I love it. And I think I'm going to sew that. I missed a corner. I keep interrupting myself. There. I'm going to sew this on there. And I'll do a little bit of writing on the back. I love the way the stitching looks on this side. And, you know, on the back, you might get some of that paper core popping up. And I have done this on another card where I took this Dollar Tree glitter marker and, you know, just made like a string of pearls here and put glitter dots where those little holes are. And I really love the way this comes out. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, just journaling. So just journaling to me means that I love journaling, and I love journaling all kinds. And, you know, it is about the journaling and not about the journal. And I know I've said this before, but any page that you do in your journal is 100% better than all the pages you didn't do. So you shouldn't be afraid to get started in doing something in a journal, whether it's writing, art, memory keeping, nature journaling, collaging, glue booking. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all good, all good. I'm waiting for this to dry. This does take a while to dry, so let's give it a minute. August 2023, started slow stitching some mushrooms for fall ephemera and happy mail. And I love how the little journaling card came out. I'm not going to slide it in because I'm going to let this dry. But that will go right in there. I think that's a very fun page. Just set it there for now. Added a little bit of a border here. I might come back and do something like maybe, I don't know, maybe a little cluster or something tiny up there. Just a little bit of something in that space. And I still, oh, this is the last page of the second signature. I still want to do my willow flower fairy. There's still a flower fairy or a tree fairy, but they fall under flower fairies, don't they? And I have to find this paper. I'm going to put away all the Tulla and Norbert for right now. Find the paper for that. And also on the desk, when I was looking for something the other day, I came across this. And this is a little calendar from 1892, original vintage. As you can see, I've cut part of it apart already. And it is all about poems about roses. And I know I've used some of it already. And I was thinking of doing an August rose page. And I had already printed out a picture of my red roses blooming. So I might do a willow page and a rose page before I get rid of all the mess on the desk. So these might be the next journaling pages. I do have some other things I need to journal about, but you know what? I probably do have enough to fill this up. And I might just do that. You know, sometimes when I get into these moods and I journal this journal, that journal, the other journal, and then sometimes it's like, I just want to finish this journal. I have enough things to put in here. I just want to get it done, and I do. But we'll see on that. We'll see what happens. We got a lot going on this week, so I might just pop in and do a little journaling now and then and leave it on the desk, and that just might be the easiest thing for me right now. So, well, thanks for coming along for some just journaling. Happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.